Everyone's been talking about it now. What did The Rock put in Cody's hands? And where is this story going? At WrestleMania Night 1, The Rock pinned Cody Rhodes in the tag match. Right then and there, I knew they were going to run it back with The Rock and Cody at some point. We just didn't know when. Well, on Monday's Raw after WrestleMania, they did the opening angle, which was 45 or so minutes with The Rock and Cody kind of going face to face. And it was a very long segment, but the hook is that he had something for Cody, and then he placed something in Cody's hand, and then he said, "Don't break my heart again." Now, there's a lot of people who have been theorizing about this all week and will continue to, depending on how long this story goes. One thing I want to commend them for is this is very similar to the Bray Wyatt story, the return of Bray Wyatt in 2022 with the viral stuff, and they're doing a little bit of that now for Uncle Howdy, and it's sort of like, who is the third man or who's the higher power in wrestling, and in not in wrestling, in storytelling. The one thing you want to always do is leave the fans and the readers or the viewers, whatever we're talking about, asking questions. In fiction, you want to have people talking about your storylines, talking about where characters are going, how are they going to get out of this, what are they going to do. It works, and it's always worked. Look at every great cliffhanger. The Empire Strikes Back. People in 1980 were wondering, is Darth Vader really the father of Luke Skywalker? And they wouldn't get the answer until 3 years passed. I don't think it'll take that long for us to find out about Cody Rhodes and The Rock. And then, more recently, Avengers Infinity War. When Thanos snapped and wiped out half the universe, then what? How do they get out of this? And we had to wait a year for Endgame. So that's just two mainstream examples of things that I've covered here on the channel, topics and whatnot that you're familiar with in the nerd sphere. But storytelling should always leave you asking questions and wondering what's next. So what they did was good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and lay out my theory. And I think I may have figured it out. I think I actually figured out what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and lay out my theory, though, for what I think is happening. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow an already existing theory that doesn't make that much sense, but add context to that, right? So the theory I'm going to start with is already kind of out there as far as what the object is, but there are still some holes that have to be filled up. But with this video, I'm going to fill up those holes. So make sure that you tune into this entire video start to finish so that you get the entire story, how I think it should be revealed, and why it's important to the characters of The Rock and Cody, and how it makes WrestleMania even more powerful with these two characters. So there's two things that we have to analyze here. It's not just what The Rock put in his hand, but what he said. So in order for us to figure out what he put in Cody's hand, we have to look at, obviously The Rock has big hands, but we have to first think of things that would fit in The Rock's hands. Coins, money, small metallic objects, a lighter, all kinds of different things can fit in your hand. So it can't be anything that's like, it's not like a plaque or a briefcase. It's obviously not that. We have to look realistically here about what The Rock put in Cody's hand. And Cody has to know what it is, or at least maybe not know the details of what the significance is, but understand that The Rock didn't just do that for no reason. So when you're coming up with a theory, and I deal with this type of BS all the time over on Geekdom 101 when I hear Dragon Ball fans say I have a theory and they put no thought into it. I'm putting thought into this. So let me give you the backstory, and then I'm going to tell you how they can actually have it make perfect sense within WWE canon, okay? So during WrestleMania, after the WrestleMania Sunday show, when they had the post show, Cody Rhodes talked about how Nick Khan, Triple H, and Bruce Pritchard got together and found this old watch that Dusty Rhodes had lost. The story was that Dusty pawned this watch off, it was a Rolex, years ago in order to send Cody and his sister to California to become movie stars. And years later, Cody wanted to find the watch, and then the mom said, "Oh, he pawned that. He pawned that so you could go to you know to learn, this skill, apply your craft." And Dusty making that sacrifice and giving up a very expensive Rolex for his kids was a really powerful thing and something that obviously meant a lot to Cody. So if The Rock, okay, if what Rock put in Cody's hand was the watch, how does it make sense? If Triple H, Nick Khan, and Bruce Pritchard gave Cody the watch, which was only acknowledged on the post-show scrum, not on the actual WrestleMania show or on Raw. How can this make sense? Well, it can make perfect sense. We have to take that and then think about what The Rock said. The Rock said, "Don't break my heart again. Don't break my heart ever again." What is The Rock talking about? How did Cody break The Rock's heart? I think that The Rock put in Cody's hand the watch, but didn't explain to him the whole backstory, but it'll be revealed. Here's the way I think this is going to go, and here's my theory. So, my theory is, we go back 2 months ago, when The Rock was first coming back to replace Cody for WrestleMania, with the story being that Cody was going to step aside for The Rock, but of course things changed and away we go, right? The story of Cody graciously stepping aside and letting The Rock take over, right, was obviously changed because the fans revolted, the Cody crybabies, aka people who wanted to see the story get finished. So what if, right, follow me here, because I think this could actually be pretty cool. What if The Rock was the one that actually found the Rolex? And what if The Rock was going to give the Rolex to Cody? In other words, The Rock found the Rolex, felt sad about having to kind of screw Cody over for his own selfish wishes. So, but remember, The Rock's also a heel. So, in his own mind, he's thinking, okay, I'm going to take Cody's spot no matter what because I'm the bigger star, but I'll give him a consolation prize, which is his daddy's watch. So what if The Rock was the one that found the watch? What if The Rock was the one that paid for it? What if The Rock found the watch and bought it from whoever had it, right? And what if the story, and we're going to take the reality of the watch and sort of bend it a little tiny bit into the fictional WWE canon. What if The Rock had planned on giving Cody the watch the weekend of WrestleMania, but because he was so upset that Cody took his spot at that point, by now he's already the final boss, he's already a heel completely, right? He's totally in that character. But The Rock is over here in his own head, he's thinking, I got you your dad's watch, and you're going to go and take my spot. I found this for you, Cody Rhodes. Right? Let me finish. And then when Cody took the spot, Rock could have just given Triple H the watch one day, or Bruce Pritchard, and been like, you know what, give this to him whenever you want to. I don't even want to give it to him. I can't stand to look at the guy. Right? I don't even want to do anything nice for him right now because The Rock feels that Cody screwed him out of his match with his cousin. Because that is the reason why The Rock even went heel to begin with. Him and Roman were both upset that Cody had actually picked Roman. So the story is that this whole time, Pritchard and Triple H and Nick Khan did not tell Cody that The Rock was the one that found the watch. They're not going to tell him that. They're just going to give it to him because it might make Cody feel weird. And maybe Rock said, don't tell him I found it. Then, when The Rock on Monday Night Raw said, on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, when he said, don't break my heart again, it was basically him telling Cody, I found your dad's watch for you. I did something I did not have to do for you. This is obviously in The Rock's like super egocentric brain. Not Dwayne Johnson, the actor. We're talking about The Rock, final boss character. He's thinking, I freaking found this kid's watch, and he screwed me out of my main event with my cousin because he was selfish. Even though Rock is the real selfish one, remember, guys, he's a villain. He's going to obviously project. So Rock found the watch, and now he's kind of messing with Cody. But when Rock comes back is when the whole story will be revealed. That what happened was earlier that day in that same episode of Raw, that same one when Cody was in the ring and Triple H was playing the music video, when all that entire opening segment before Rock came out, right? Rock went into Cody's dressing room because he's the final boss. The guards aren't going to stop him. The security people aren't going to stop him. He goes into Cody's bag in his dressing room and takes the watch, saying, you took my WrestleMania spot, now I'm taking back the watch. Because remember, Rock didn't have the watch for a while because he already handed it off to Nick Khan or whoever to give to Cody later on. This was weeks ago. We're going back and we're kind of retracing our steps to that first SmackDown when Cody stepped down. Then when Cody, according to The Rock, selfishly took the WrestleMania main event, that is when he broke Dwayne's heart. That is what he meant. Now, this is going to put Cody in a weird position because Cody obviously is very happy that watch was found. It's a personal heirloom. And Rock could even come out there and say, like, you know, I know you wanted to give your dad the title, but I figured giving you this watch was going to be just as important. You know what I mean? Something like that, you know? And, of course, the story is going to be that Cody will be thankful deep down inside that The Rock did that for him, but he is not going to just roll over and let The Rock try to play his little games with him, his mind games, and he's not going to try and let The Rock butter him up, because the idea as to why The Rock's even bringing it up now is because in their eventual match, he wants Cody to be conflicted. And then Cody could even cut the promo on the go home saying, you know, whenever they have the match, whatever pay-per-view it is, telling Rock, like, you know, you're going to get the best from me. Like, I'm not going to hold back because you did this for me. That WrestleMania main event was my destiny. Just like, you know, 25 years ago or whatever, it was your destiny to be champion back then. This main event was my destiny. It's my time. Right? And you could even do a thing where when Cody does beat The Rock, you could even have a thing where Cody even grabs the mic and looks down and says, hey, Rock, thanks for the watch. And walks off. You know, his music plays. A lot of ways to do it. But the story is, yes, we make it about the watch. We make it to where The Rock snuck into Cody's dressing room while he was in the ring. While he was in the... We could say Brandy was at the hotel that day. With the baby. Brandy was with the baby. And Pharaoh. And Pharaoh. Right? Or maybe even Brandy was taking Pharaoh out for a walk. Hell, maybe they could use footage. Maybe they could even use security cam footage like AEW did on Wednesday to to show The Rock sneaking in there or whatever. However you want to do. There's many ways to do it. And have him taking that because he's like, no, I'm going to use this now to show this guy that I was nice to him. I tried to be a good guy with him, and he just wouldn't accept it because he had to come in the middle of family business. Obviously, this is a heel justifying his own selfish ways. That's what heels do. I think that would make the most intriguing story because there's emotion here. It ties into Dusty Rhodes in a different way besides just the title, and it shows that Dwayne thought in his own head that he was doing something nice for Cody because he knew he was taking his spot, which means that Dwayne knew he was doing the wrong thing before he actually did it. This is, of course, Dwayne the character, not the real guy. We're talking about in-universe. We're mixing reality with fiction. So that is how I think they could actually tell this story and make it make sense. Remember, everything about this current Triple H era is things have to make more sense. So you could easily like reveal bits and pieces on a week by week basis. But to me, this is definitely the way to go. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.